And hello, welcome to another edition of All or Not According to Jack with your host, Jack Toledano. As you can see, it's another episode of Top 3 Metal Albums by Year. And for today, we're going to talk about the year 1985. 1985, I am going to admit it was a very, very tough year to do this project. It took me bunch of album listens to formulate my top three. I listened to a bunch. I listened to let's see, Exodus, Bonded by Blood, Slayer, Hell Awaits. I really tried to bring in Slayer, but couldn't do it. There was better. Celtic Frost, to Megatherion, Megadeth, Killing Is My Business. Unfortunately, these bands just did not make it. I will say, Megadeth, wait a few years, they will appear, I promise you. But for tonight, we're going to talk about three. There are no four bands or no four albums for this one. This is simply just three. So, first one is a band that I would grow to like in the 90s. How would you say, a prog metal band. I don't know if they were really considered prog metal at this time, but they were kind of, the prog metal movement started, I think, in the 90s. But so in any event, we're talking Sabotage, Power of the Night. So track listing, the title track, Power of the Night, Unusual. Those first two are highlights for me. There's Warriors, Necrophilia, Washed Out, another highlight for me. Hard for Love, Fountain of Youth, Skull Session, Stuck on You, and In the Dream. Those are both highlights for me as well. Sabotage, they would go through a lot of lineup changes over the years, but this one had John Oliva lead vocals and keyboards. Chris Oliva, when he was still alive, Keith Collins, bass guitar, Steve Wackholtz on drums. So that's number one, Sabotage, Power of the Night. Next one, and this is kind of getting more into the music that I like. These next two kind of save 1985 for me. So first one, we're talking Wasp, The Last Command, song Wild Thing, I love it. Ball Crusher, Fistful of Diamonds, Jack Action, Jack Action. Blind in Texas, probably my favorite song by Wasp, good stuff. The title track, Last Command. Then you got, rounding out the album, Running Wild in the Streets and Sex Drive. But the six that I mentioned are my highlights, but especially Wild Thing and Blind in Texas and Last Command. But Wild Thing and Blind in Texas, those are songs that got introduced to me through XM radio and kind of, rejuvenated my love of metal music, going back a few years. So that was Wasp. And then, which brings me to my third band, and I'd have to say, these guys saved 1985 for me. So let's bring them up. Metal Heart. So a little bit about the title track, which I love that song. And I have to read this out of Wikipedia. So song Metal Heart, well known for containing the cover of two famous classical themes, Tchaikovsky's Slavonic March in the intro and Beethoven's Für Elise in the main riff and solo. Excellent, guys. Midnight Mover, that was another song that got him some airplay in addition to Balls to the Wall, Up to the Limit, Wrong is Right, Dogs on Leads, Teach Us to Survive, living for tonight. That's Accept. Accept is a band you're going to be hearing a lot more of them in the coming years. Probably, you'll definitely hear from them when Mark Tornillo joins in the late 90s, early 2000s. But Accept kills it for me. I didn't mention this during my my top 15 hard rock bands, but I will eventually do a top 15 metal bands. Those guys will definitely be in there. Accept, I love them, but probably I will hold that until sometime in July. I don't, I want to kind of spread the wealth out a little bit, but that will be forthcoming. So also forthcoming when we get to the top 3 metal bands of 1986. That's going to be a little bit of a fun one. Kind of have a little bit of a theme going there, but you'll see it when you see it. I'm not sure if I'll get it up this week, maybe next week. We'll see. In any event, this is Jack Toledano speaking for All or Nada According to Jack. Please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell, et cetera, et cetera. Please let me know what your top 3 metal bands are. And I just want to say to the core group that have been watching, you guys, you floor me. You guys are the freaking best. Thank you so much for participating and playing along and keeping this a lot of fun. You know what? I am going to forge ahead. I hope I get it done before we reach 2023, but you know what? Hell, that'll be another year I get out there. But I am working on the other years, and we'll get them out there. So long, everybody. Have a good night.